Perfect timing. Good morning. It's Friday the 13th of October. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. Ooh. It's a scary time of year.
Especially
I am
Halloween month.
Yes, I am TakersMinion, joined by my co-host from the land of the rising sun, Mr. Dr. Senju. Good evening to you, kind sir.
Good evening to you. I think someone knows there's a beer or something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that to go off in the background, but it was absolutely perfect.
It was, actually. I'm fine, thanks. Finally, I am healthy. I'm a little bit... I am a little bit okay. Still having a little bit of coughs and issues and all that, but I'm fine. About 90%.
And we are joined by
Oh,
the famous or infamous, however you want to look at it, Ambrose Alley
Infamous.
from
She's still
the Daily. Good morning to you, young lady.
Morning.
morning.
Or as you say, Borada.
Reda.
Of course. Of course. Oh, God.
Since
What's that? Okay. We are here to discuss the pile of smoldering shit that was Hell in a Cell, Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT. Mr. 205 Live MDS, I hope you checked it out this week because I didn't. I started to and got sick. I was looking at it going, no, I can't watch this crap.
I did.
Also,
I did watch too.
we'll be talking about something that is very near and dear to Miss Ambrose Alley's heart. The reunion of Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, the Shield.
Shield.
Yes. Man, damn it. Chill bumps.
Chill bumps. Really?
Yeah.
Chill bumps?
Yes.
Fine. I'll.
I never expected that. But anyway, I digress. Let us talk about Hell in a Cell.
Okay. Let's do
And
that
it seems
first.
we have a guest here today. She will go first, and we're going to start with the tag match. Ambrose Alley, what did you think?
I loved it. Actually turned off Halloween Wars so I could watch it because I was really into it.
Wow. Okay.
And for me to give up watching a part of Halloween Wars after watching it for 5 years.
That says something.
That really does say something.
Yeah, Halloween Wars, if I'm not mistaken, is on the Food Network, correct?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
All right. But before that, did any of you happen to watch the pre-show?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Nope.
I'll touch it a little bit quicker because I did watch it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It was a by the numbers kind of book, as pre-show shows would do usually, because we're not that surprised at how pre-shows are booked by now. It's not that important a card. We'll talk about that one a little bit later because someone is actually pissed off at that one apparently. But solid pre-show match. It has good pace. Handful exciting near falls. Just that it doesn't really click for me because it shows a little bit of high intensity, but is marred by a lot of low intensity rest holds, kind of that. So probably because they haven't really faced the hype bros yet, Gable and Benjamin. But these two are actually getting to gel together as a team, Gable and Benjamin, I mean. But it still goes to by the numbers book with the story of hype bros breaking up, Gable and Benjamin looking more and more cohesive like a team. Yeah. I won't class this as a match that happened. It's just that it's a match that happened. But if you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you didn't lose anything much in the pre-show. So
Okay.
Quick done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. MDS, what did you think of the tag match?
I loved it. Probably the best match in the card, basically, for the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. I love it when they introduce something new to something that we have seen in decades, as in Hell in a Cell, people fighting in cages, people fighting with weapons inside cages. The creative ways that they use the weapons, however, is what interests me and what makes it a lot more fun. The spot where they pin Jimmy Uso to the edge of the cage with kendo sticks, that was fun.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant, of course. And then, of course, there's the usual cuffing someone in the edge of the one edge of the ring or one edge of the cage, and then whacking them with the kendo sticks as well. That's what happened with Xavier Woods.
Oh, when they had him hung over the post.
Yep.
Oh God, that was another brilliant
That was
spot.
brutal. That was brutal because
Brutal as well, but brilliant spot. Another brilliant
Yes.
spot.
Yes, because they were using those kendo sticks against Xavier Woods like he was a pinata or something like that.
Where's the candy? Damn it!
They were whacking poor Woods and they were waiting for candy.
Did you
Where's
see the
candy?
pictures?
Yep, I did.
Man,
Grueling, nasty.
it was.
Like I said a lot of times, we always take for granted what these people do, sacrificing for our entertainment, and that's one result of it. Welts and marks on his back, as if he's being tortured so terribly.
Yeah, if you look at Jey Uso's face when he was on Smacking Talk or Talking Smack, whatever they call
Talking
it.
smack. Talking smack. Yep.
He had actually a nice lump on the side of his head by his eye that had actually been opened up. And I think that was when Xavier had the handcuffs on. He caught him with one of those edges because he was double pounding him in the head.
Mhm.
And I think he missed a block and he got cut or hit. And it left a mark.
Yes. Hey. But here's the thing, though. The whole thing about hot potatoing the whole title has always been brought up in cases of both the Usos and the New Day, because of course we're talking about these two teams always fighting against one another for the tag team championships. But our question was always there's no one credible enough to face either one of them when they were champs. The only credible ones were, of course, their rivals, each other, basically.
Yeah.
And of course, when we touch about on SmackDown later, they rectified this a little bit more. So there's that. All in all, it was great. It was a fun, great match. This is how you do wrestling comedy and wrestling brutality all in the same time, because there's a healthy mix of New Day doing comedy skits and both of them doing brutal match spots, like we said. So there's that.
Wow. Yeah, it's my opinion on that match for Sunday night is leading off the show. First of all, if I knew that match was going to be like that at the beginning, I would have put it in the main event, because it was, I mean, not 5 minutes into the match, This Is Awesome chance started. The crowd was immediately captured by the four men in the ring. You know, Xavier wasn't doing his shtick with the trombone. He was being quiet. He was just, Xavier was in the ring. Kofi was just, Kofi was outside. You didn't really hear Kofi hollering much. He was just sitting out there with looks on his face like, oh my God, what have we gotten ourselves into here? The most dangerous thing that was ever brought into the ring was that length of chain that was wrapped around Big E's fist, but never
properly used, actually.
Never properly used. It was always on top, but the Usos sold it so well when he got hit with that hand.
Yep.
I mean, both teams sold like crazy. It should have been the match, the main event of the show.
Yeah, I think one nitpick of it could be that this one should be a marquee match, even though it's not a pay-per-view, even though it's not the main event. It should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is the matchup that used the stipulation of being in a steel cage match.
Yes.
Why not market that as the main point going in? Well, there's a lot.
And it kept Kofi out,
Yes.
somewhat out of it.
Yes.
Which is what it's
Just
supposed
like
to.
it was supposed to be.
That's the way the cage. That's the way that cell's supposed to be. Keep people out.
Mhm.
That's what all cage matches are for. Keep people out.
Yep. Should have kept people who's not supposed to be involved, but in a sense, you also let Kofi tell another story by not being in the ring with his brothers of the New Day. You can actually see that he's actually not liking what he's going through. Like you said, oh my God, what have we gotten ourselves into fighting these two inside a steel cage match? So there's that.
A cage match like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in a sense,
match of the night, and it set the tone to set the bar so freaking high that the rest of the card, well, yeah.
Okay, let's touch up on the, the match that followed: Randy Orton versus Rusev.
Sorry.
RKO out of nowhere.
What's
again.
RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah, once again, RKO out of nowhere. Boy, we didn't see that coming, did we?
Well,
No, not at all.
Not at all. I mean, okay, he did something different. He escapes the accolade and lands an RKO. Wait a minute.
Rusev never really got the accolade put on.
He didn't. I think it was half an accolade or a quarter of an accolade.
Because every time he tried to put it on him, Randy would back out.
Uh-huh.
So,
because I think it was a quarter of an accolade.
From the Viper.
Yeah. From the Viper who slithers out from the accolade and then suddenly delivers an RKO from out of nowhere. Okay. I mean, here's the thing, though. It's not easy to buy into these two's intense dislike of each other because we haven't really feel that they actually hate each other. Number one. And number two, how do you follow up from the New Day Uso, which sets up, like Taker said, it sets up a very high bar that no one could actually reach. This is one of the examples that affected the match in a sense, and it suffered. I felt that the match was very slow. I mean, there's a lot of moments where Randy Orton is lying on his back. That's it. Yeah. That was what I noticed. Because, and then putting back Rusev with another loss. Like I said before, I'm still waiting for my Rusev day, and I'll wait patiently for it. And this match is a match that happened, if you want to put it that way. So it happened. It didn't really do anything for me. If it didn't happen, it still wouldn't do anything for me. We need something fresh, something different if you want to create the rivalry between Rusev and Orton. So there's that.
But what is the rivalry?
There is none. Because number one, there's none. Number two, if there's any, it doesn't feel like there's genuine hatred for each other.
No, they're just going through the motions. You know, let's this spot. Let's go to the next spot. Let's go to that spot. Oh, let's take it home. Okay, Randy, RKO me. I'll lay there. And it's over. Mm-hmm. And that's the package match that they've been having with Randy and Rusev since this whole thing started.
Yes. Because what was the question?
Both of them, in my opinion, are mailing it in. And I don't like that.
Of course.
You know, I thought the match had nothing for me. It had nothing at stake. You know, that's the whole thing behind it.
Yeah.
You need stakes, damn it. You need stakes.
Rusev can pull off a damn good feud. He did with Reigns.
He did with Reigns, number one. He did
with John Cena.
Yes, I was just about to bring that up. He did a little bit with Cena, to a lesser degree, but there's there. But
he did it with Ambrose. He did it with Kalisto when Kalisto took the title off of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was something, and there was something there for it.
And he even did it with Lana, and that's surprising.
Lana and Ziggler. Yeah, he did it with Lana and Ziggler.
Mm-hmm. Lana and Ziggler.
Which that's another guy that is. I'm changing something. I started this last night while listening to Two Guys One Sport because they were live last night because Brother George is going to an indie show tonight
Ooh,
in
have
Chicago.
fun.
Yeah, he is. He's going to have fun. Because guess who he's going to get to see, damn it.
Here's
He's
the
going to
thing.
see Penta Cero Miedo tonight.
Okay.
Bastard.
He's watching CMLL. Is it
No,
CMLL?
it's not No, it's a oh shit.
Is
It's
it AAA?
I think it's not. It's AAW. I think.
Oh, okay. AAW. Okay. All right. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
They got a 2-day tournament going on this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night.
That's gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun. Anyway.
Yeah. Bastard. Love you, George.
This is a recurring theme. Anyway.
I love me some Pentagon. Okay.
It's like I love me some Jimmy Havoc.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Talking about that, there's an actual. This is a small segue. There is actual news that Jimmy Havoc got injured a little bit on the face by his matchup with Sabu. That was a little bit jarring because he wasn't supposed to accept the attack on the head with a sharp instrument on the face, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is actually doing the shoot like Sabu does, it is what it is. Jimmy Jacobs
Sabu's just like his dad or his uncle, I should say.
Uncle,
yeah, Eddie.
Uncle would be better. Yeah, Uncle would be better.
That is his uncle, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do believe so. But it is what it is. Havoc looks okay. From the photo, it was a little bit gruesome because there's clearly marks on his forehead and close to his eyes, dangerously where his eyes are. And I mean, it is what it is. It happens. Anyway, small segue. Just a small reintroduction to both Jimmy Havoc and Sabu again. But anyway, here's a matchup that followed the Rusev Orton thing with the United States Championship against AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Ty Dillinger, who is reintroduced into the matchup to change it into a triple threat match, thanks to a recent victory on SmackDown and kind of being in Daniel Bryan's ear, or basically kissing Daniel Bryan's ass.
I got something I could really say, but I'm not going to because it's not PG.
Oh, go ahead and say it.
I saw I saw what happened with Ty Dillinger, and I was thinking at one point, when are you going to drop to your knees and blow Daniel, for Christ's sake? I'm sorry, that's just how it looked. Like he was on the verge of tears. What is like? What could I do? Well, why did I do this? And bloop, drop to his knees. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on. That's bad, but that's what it looked like to me. He was going to give him a blowjob to get in the match.
I mean, I kind of went a little bit lower on that when you hit the ball right out of the park from that one.
I hit it right out of the head. Boom. I'll drop to my knees and give you a blowjob. Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Ty Dillinger, if you ever listen to this, we're just making fun of you. But it is how it is. The story does make you look like you're an ass kisser and as well as a head giver.
No shit. His nose got very brown and his mouth got, well, never mind.
Let's stop right there.
Enough said.
Anyway, based on the joke itself doesn't really mar the fact that the match is actually good. Even though the decision to make it from a one-on-one to a triple threat match was kind of like last minute, with the help of Ty Dillinger kissing people's ass, basically sucking up to the management. Yeah, but here, the whole thing was fun. The match had good flow. Styles delivered a promo in spades, just that he doesn't really show a little bit more intensity on his matchup here, but that's just me nitpicking. Ty Dillinger got his participation trophy. I can agree with that. So that's that. But the surprising thing is that letting Baron Corbin actually win the matchup and let him be the US champion. That's a little bit surprising for me. So
All I'm hoping is that's going to free up AJ so he can get into the main title picture.
Hopefully, or do another rubber match just to cement AJ Styles, just to cement Baron Corbin's win against AJ Styles and consolidating his reign as US champion. That would be better before moving forward to face either Jinder Mahal or something like that. Hopefully so. But all in all, I like the match. Doesn't really detract the fact that the match came second best, or in my case it's second best, with the tag match earlier on being the highlight, and as well as the match of the night for Hell in a Cell. So there's that. What about you, Ambrose Ali?
Too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's between it and Halloween Wars.
Of course, you're kind of distracted by Halloween Wars. That maybe.
Hey, the talent that it takes to do what they do is amazing.
I'll agree on that one. On either wrestling or on cooking food, it's the amount of creativity and the amount of energy that is given supposedly has to show. But at least in a sense, I think I can agree that Ty Dillinger had his participation trophy in this one. He actually did something in the main event.
Main event. Wait a minute.
No, I'm sorry. From the title.
Well,
matchup.
He wasn't on the pre-show for once.
No.
The actual main show.
Yeah, at the cost of brown nosing and lip smacking. Lip smacking.
Yes. That's what I thought he was trying to do, and I was waiting for that to come out of his mouth. I'll even blow you, Daniel.
Anyway, I think we can agree that even that wouldn't really mar the match. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match. It's just good. It's just good. The pacing was nice. The story that they tried to give delivered. The only question mark is Baron Corbin winning after getting neutered, getting his nuts cut off, getting burned, doing Wile E. Coyote skit twice.
Yeah, no shit.
Wile E. Corbin. So him winning the title is a surprise to me, but I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen.
Well, I'm looking at this, seeing him on Talking Smack after the pay-per-view, and then seeing him again on Tuesday, the way he's acting, he is got the attitude that, yeah, I may have screwed up here and there. I may have been Wile E. Baron Corbin, but look what I have now. And everybody that talks shit about me on the internet and everything else like that, eat shit and die. I have a title, and it's going to take a very stout performance to get it back.
Yeah. I'll touch on this one when we discuss on SmackDown, because I have a little bit of parallel to do with Baron Corbin and a certain other wrestler. That kind of, yeah, I do. It's not a shoot, it's not a rant, it's just a critique of mine. So there's that. Anyway, quick move on to Natalya versus Charlotte Flair, SmackDown for SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't know how to feel about this one, because it has a little bit of mix of old school wrestling with the whole technical maneuvers, move sets, and submission holds. Because Natalya, more predominantly shown by Natalya's side. It's just that when it is applied to this match, it slowly grinds the match to a slow pace. But in my own surprise, it doesn't really ruin the match a little bit. It's just that it showed that this is a physical matchup on the other spectrum, where it shows a little bit of more toughness for the women's division. So there's that.
I would agree with that, but
Yeah.
the whole finish was not needed. The
Yeah.
disqualification was not needed.
Mhm.
You know, Charlotte was selling the knee brilliantly,
Mhm.
which is a perfect segue to the sharpshooter.
Mhm.
I would have much rather had Charlotte tap out, but then again, with the disqualification, it leaves the door slightly open to a rematch at a later date.
Yeah, I agree. Because the injury itself kind of like provides the matchup with a new story set. You didn't defeat me while I was healthy. You defeated me while I was injured. You took advantage of it, slapped me on the sharpshooter. You won by disqualification without even actually defeating me. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, coming into it, Charlotte Flair will have revenge on her mind. So
Yeah.
yes, that.
Because
What's that?
I want to see Charlotte with the title.
Everyone won.
Because she's like gender to me.
What?
She is. There's nothing there. I'm not interested in any of Natalia's matches.
Okay, so you'd rather see Charlotte hold the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matches a lot more.
I'll agree on that with respect to what Natalia brings to the table, because she's the carpenter, and surprisingly, actually, she does provide solid competition to Charlotte Flair, and this is actually just showcases her side as a technical master with a mean streak. That's it. But that's just it.
Well, that's the same thing. If you think about it, it's the same thing Bret Hart was, and he was over like crazy during his time.
During his time, but right now, the time.
Yeah, then the problem with it is that everybody wants the high spots. Everybody wants the instant gratification, and you and I have spoken on this several times. A bump card shortens careers.
Yes.
High spots, extreme high spots, like the moonsault onto the floor. Charlotte better start getting away from that, because that's going to shorten her career.
It's going to affect her career.
Yes. And that's another reason why I think Kofi was not inside on Hell in a Cell, because of one, his age, two, his style. He's a high flyer.
He is, and surprisingly, he's 36.
Is he?
He is 36, I believe.
You know, getting back to that match, Xavier was the man who carried that match again.
Quite a lot. Yeah, he carried it. Biggie did his heavy lifting as well. He took a lot of the heavy bumps in the cage as well.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it kind of like puts Kofi Kingston, who has a higher risk of doing high risk, on a showcase like that. But I can understand where they're going, and in both Natalia and Charlotte's matchup, it also gives precedence to that one as well. There's not a ton of highlights. There's not a ton of wow maneuvers. There's no oh my god, what was that? It's just, this match just tells a solid story from start to finish. So and it's and another good mark for the women's division on this match too. You don't really have to show a lot of high spots. This is another way of telling a good story in a women's match.
See, that's the thing with Natalia. She has that skill.
She just hasn't got the time, and she just hasn't given the chance to. And yes, we've already argued this, and we already argued on this end a lot of times already. So.
Yes, we have.
Yes. So let's move on to. Should I even go here?
Go ahead, man.
Let's move on to Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship.
I'll go first.
Sure.
As much as I love me some Shinsuke Nakamura, I saw the mail-in guy, Shinsuke Nakamura. He was just going through the motions. There was no passion, no fire, no nothing. He did not. He did not show me anything. I'm very disappointed in him.
Mhm.
You know, it's making me rethink my fandom of him.
Mhm.
Granted, Jinder Mahal isn't much better. I mean, and when this whole thing started, I was a big supporter of Jinder Mahal having a title, but I said the reign should be short, and it's been much, much too long.
Yeah,
And
I
something I just noticed on this pay-per-view, this is like the third or fourth pay-per-view Jinder Mahal has had a title.
Mhm.
He's not
And he's-
main evented any of them.
and he successfully defended it.
Yes, he's defending him successfully, but he's not the main event.
Yes.
And the thing that I'm seeing on the interweb is that Jinder has no reason to be around the main event. He's not. He's not around the main event.
He should not have been. Nowadays, he should not have been because of his.
I mean, when he took the title from Randy, it wasn't even the main event of that show.
Oh no, it is not.
They're
Surprising.
making the WWE World WWE Championship. They're devaluing it now.
Yep,
They're turning it into a mid-card title.
which is sad in a sense because the Universal Champion is a little bit is newer.
A little bit ahead of it now.
Yeah,
And they have
even if it's held by a part timer.
Yeah, and it's being held by a part-timer. And the WWE Championship has been around a hell of a lot longer than the Universal title.
Yep. But let's not touch on the world title just yet, and let's just touch on the match, because right now, I think from 3 or 4 pay-per-views that we've already seen already, here's the thing. Here's the conclusion that I could give on Jinder Mahal. He only looks like he can wrestle only one style of wrestling match, where he's gonna work the slow pace and he's gonna fill it up with rest holds.
Granted, he's got a great ground style of wrestling.
Yes, but he cannot credit where credit's due. He does have a good ground-based mat offense. The only problem is he cannot do the ground-based offense with every single opponent that he faces. And I think that's
the problem.
Yes, yeah, that's the problem. Number one, and number two, I think that's what affected Nakamura here. He's facing a one-dimensional opponent in Jinder Mahal, and on that case, he can't really showcase the strong style that he has, even though he can actually do a significant amount of comeback where he picks up the pace back again and tries to do a comeback.
I think part of the problem too is that the concussion lawsuit that's going on with WWE right now is not allowing Nakamura to use his style to his fullest.
Yes,
they've gone away from the king of strong style, which is what he is. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're making him be an artist. No, you cannot change someone's style that easily and that quickly and expect it to get over.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. Of course, I'm not gonna compare two people with the same amount of skill set, move set, and talent on showcase here, but it does put a little bit of a red flag as a warning for me for the emergence of Asuka in Tables, Ladders, and Asuka. It puts a little bit of worry for me if this is what we're gonna see happen with Asuka. I hope it's not gonna happen like that. It's just that
she's another strong style that might be cut off at the knees.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a word of caution and a word of warning for me for her. So, and it's match wise. Ambrose, do you have any other things to add on this one?
Nope.
Nope.
No comments at all, huh?
No comments at all.
No comments.
Okay.
Jinder makes you go to sleep.
Very much so.
Or going back to watching Halloween Wars.
I think this is the point where this is the point where she goes and watch Halloween Wars for the entirety of the match. But anyway, this match was I hate to put it in a match that happened because I'm gonna put this as this is just the shit. This is just the dumpster fire of a match.
It was. It was, and I mean, I feel bad for Nakamura. Don't get me wrong. I still like the guy
I do too, but
because
this is the card that he was dealt with. He can't do
I
anything.
mean, the previous match that he had with Jinder was better than this.
Of course, of course. But and here's the other thing though. The matchup that follows, Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler, this matchup was better than that matchup.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
No argument there. No argument there whatsoever. None.
Yeah. Because even though Ziggler's gimmick of a lack of a gimmick doesn't really help him that much and doesn't really do favors for his character going in, this matchup surprisingly was simple. It was direct. It told a story. And it was better than Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which was both a good thing and a bad thing altogether. I mean, of course, we know that Dolph Ziggler has a good command of being a heel, and it shows. The only problem is coming into the match where he comes out with an intro, but then again cuts it all so forcibly and is all business. It's not really helping his character out. So me going in, I'm going, okay, so you don't have a gimmick? That's what you're telling me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ambrose.
I actually enjoyed watching this match.
Yeah. I agree.
And he did have some chemistry with. They're both flamboyant enough. They play well off of each other.
Yeah, he did. Because here's the thing. If you cut out the whole entrance gimmick and the whole storyline about how Ziggler is trying to prove a point that people are more interested in entrance and gimmicks and all that kind of stuff, this matchup is actually quite good.
I would agree with that, but the thing about it is that here again, WWE has focused so much on entrances that they're becoming moot.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know,
in a sense, we
they're
could.
Trying, what I think the WWE is trying to recapture is the what's the word I'm looking for? The power, I should say, the power of the entrance of the Undertaker. That what it had, or of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, you know, you hear the glass break, and the crowd erupts. You hear the first tolling of the bell, and the crowd erupts. You know, they don't have those. They don't have entrances like that. Yeah, Nakamura's is good. I'll give credit to that because you hear the violin start to play, or actually, I think it's a cello, but anyway, you hear that music, and the crowd goes nuts. But right now, Nakamura is nothing but an entrance.
Exactly.
As so is Finn, for that matter.
Yes.
But I digress.
Yeah. But I agree on that one because I think that's how WWE wants to market it, but it's a story for another time. I think it's an interesting uptake on that one because if what you're saying is correct, that means Ziggler's gimmick is actually just a parody of WWE's process.
Most over entrances there ever were.
Yes.
Ultimate Warrior, The Undertaker, which I still am pissed off about.
Shawn Michaels.
You know, we can name a plethora of wrestlers that had entrances that the crowd, the first note hits and they know. Whereas today, the only one that has anything like that is the Ric Flair wannabe Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that because, but another interesting point that I could bring up is that how both Ziggler and Roode going in for the quick roll up for the win, and that exchange kind of like pulls me off a little bit. But then I understand what's happening. It could lead to a shift in character, but just that I don't see it happening yet. just yet.
Hmm.
Because after Bobby Roode won, quickly after that, Dolph Ziggler nails him with a zigzag, and that's it. Or the what I love to call is the pseudo Fairmaster, but that's another thing for another story. Anyway, the match was fine. It's not as if you minus all the story points and all the rivalry that's going on with it, all the shenanigans that's going on with it, it's a good match. It's just that the story doesn't really fit with the matchup. So there's that. And then we reach to the final matchup for the pay-per-view, where I think we'll be a little bit split on the decision, with Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens in a Falls Count Anywhere Hell in a Cell. What?
Falls count anywhere in a Hell in a Cell, but you're supposed to be in the cell. You're supposed to
Exactly.
be in the cell.
Exactly. Exactly. I brought this
It sounded
point
like
up
something
before.
Theodore Long would come up with.
Exactly. I said this before. I said this before Hell in a Cell. You during the go home show of SmackDown last week, you put a Falls Count Anywhere in a Hell in a Cell match where you're supposed to put people in to the in a cell and not spill out from the cell. It doesn't really make sense that moment. But when the matchup spills out to the ring, oh, okay, now I see what's going on. I mean, when I was watching it, Owens didn't actually get into the cell. They started fighting outside of the cell. So they started fighting outside of the cell, and then when they got into the cell, they didn't get into the ring. They used the cell to just literally beat the shit out of each other with the cell, and then get into the ring, and then climb up the cell just to fight on the cell. And that's when the whole brutality changed to me from brutal to a little bit, oh, I hope this doesn't turn out bad for both of them. Because each and every single time they delivered a move onto the top of the cage, I was so scared that the cage would give and
You were afraid we were going to have a Mick Foley moment.
Yes.
And the one who was selling that the best, in my opinion, was Graves.
Yes, of course.
Corey Graves is a historian of this industry, and he knows about that match. That was an actual malfunction of setup. Because when they set that, if you notice, this cell was set up a little, since that incident, they use more square box steel on the tops and sides and the round.
Mm-hmm.
And the roof of that one was held on with zip ties, black plastic zip ties, not built to withstand damn near 300-pound man being chokeslammed to the top.
Okay.
This cell, if you look at it, was set up like a regular chain link fence with the metal clamps and bolts.
Uh-huh.
So for that to break, it would have to be extreme. But yeah, I was worried about that too at points, because that cage, that roof kept starting to sag more and more, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I was also biting my nails on that one, because it turned from brutal match to a worry set for me. Because I was going, oh, I hope the cage doesn't give. I hope the cage doesn't give.
Sorry, guys.
But in a sense, it delivered to me. It delivered what it should. It was a brutal match. There were some small points. If I wanted to nitpick, there were some small points where it was a little bit jarring for me. For instance, there's one moment where Owens was taunting his kids, "Take a good look at Daddy," and the camera pans to the kids, and the kids were grinning and smiling. I wonder whether that's actually just a miscue or just something.
Yeah, the only one that was selling that was the wife.
Yeah. The kids were just laughing and smiling. I mean, okay. If the kids, I'm gonna nitpick a little bit further. If the cameraman does know his job, if he notices that, he doesn't really have to go pan to the kids, because the kids were just not selling it at all. I mean, man, my goodness. but it doesn't really take out. It doesn't really take away a lot of the moment. It's just makes me a little bit jarring. You could actually, to me personally, I think I could actually feel these two really genuinely dislike each other, and they risked life and limb just to destroy each other inside the cage, outside the cage, on top of the cage. Of course, Shane McMahon is your usual fearless daredevil self, even with the even with the last point where he leaped off Hell in a Cell with a diving elbow. He leaped off
And missed again.
And missed again, of course.
But hitting the coast to coast was brilliant.
Yes, coast to coast was so brilliant. I mean, and there's one moment. There's also another moment where Owens missed a cannonball and broke the table, and also McMahon missing a shooting star press. There's a lot of moments like that where you missed and then miss and then miss. That's kind of. But
then Shane taking that piece of broken table.
Oh, that was
just
fun.
Wearing Kevin Owens out with it. I was like, man, brutal.
Yep. I mean, you used you're gonna have to use everything and anything just to bring your hated enemy down, and I think that's what that was what delivered for me, because on a storyline standpoint, it delivered. It delivered that these two really hate each other, and these two wanted to just throw everything and the kitchen sink to each other just to destroy each other. There's that.
What say you, Ambrose?
I kind of match.
Yeah. Well, you're not really. It seems like Hell in a Cell didn't do much for you.
Didn't, other than the tag.
No.
It was just, to me, it was just a
filler
pay-per-view.
Okay. Pay-per-view that happened.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view that happened. I agree. But here's the surprising bit for the whole thing, though. Sami Zayn's appearance is very surprising at that point, because to me, I was going, I'm not really. I was surprised, honestly, but I was more okay. What's going on here? Because I saw that Sami Zayn looked conflicted when he saved Kevin Owens from the table. Even if the funny bit was that when WWE posted the clip where he saved Zayn is saving Owens via slow motion, and you actually saw Kevin Owens coming up just as Sami Zayn comes in.
Yeah, I saw that in real time. They didn't sell that one right.
They didn't sell that one right. The timing was kind of off. Owens should have just laid down, and then when he feels the arm, and then he just I can follow this through, rather than, I hear him coming. Okay, now I can get up. I think there was a little small miscue there, but it was.
In all actuality, I think what I think is that Kevin was afraid that Sami was going to miss, and so he reacted too quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Because if you remember when they did that spot at WrestleMania with Undertaker and Shane, Taker waited actually until Shane was in the air coming down, and he rolled off the table, so it looked more real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that table was gimmicked or not with the bag. I couldn't tell.
Me neither. I mean, I was quite worried when Shane landed on it, and I was going, okay, was that real? I was pausing, okay, and then 1, 2, and then I didn't really see a hint of a bag or anything like that. Was that?
There was a brief moment where I thought it was bagged. It's before the referee jumped on it. You could see the one corner slowly going down.
Mm-hmm.
The one top, as you look at the screen, top left corner was, on the angle, the top left corner was slowly going down and then stopped. Because the referee jumped on it in his knees, I guess pushed all the rest of the air out so it wouldn't look like it was gimmicked to and if you look at it too, the top of the table was slightly above the edge of the lip, which is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's more flush, so there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ambrose, we're pretty nitpicky on stuff. I actually see things that a lot of people don't.
Nothing wrong with that.
I break down every match when I watch them. And the thing about it is I don't write anything down. I do it all from memory.
Yeah. We do that a lot.
Yes.
We do that a lot. You can't really say
it's like I was watching an old school match yesterday, which, again, two guys, one sport. George took as his match of the week. It was a June 2nd, 1972 cage match at Soldier Field between Blackjack Mulligan, father of Mike Rotunda, grandfather of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Blackjack Lanza, current agent with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And back then he was known as Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher in a steel cage match at Soldier Field.
Okay.
And that match, I saw it when I was younger because they did a show on a weekend 2 weeks in a row where it was like it's a 30 to 35 minute match in a cage. 4 guys just beating the holy shit out of it. 5 guys actually, because Heenan got locked in the cage and he was beat to shit. Lanza and Mulligan were beat to shit. Everybody was bleeding except the referee, who was Jersey Joe Walcott, former heavyweight champion of the world.
Okay.
You have 4 big barrel-chested men just basically pounding the shit out of each other. No high spots, just throw them into the cage face first. Throw them into the cage face first.
Okay.
Beautiful match. And this match kind of threw back a little bit to that, but still, the high spots are going to shorten careers, like I've said. Shane, you proved that you can still do that. Enough is enough. Please stop killing your body. We don't need you doing the Owen Hart thing when you jump off that cell one too many times and misjudge your drop.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think this one doesn't deliver, not just with the storyline wise, but just with the spectacle, because I think it's just a setup for. And I might be a little bit snarky and I might be a little bit cynical on this one, but it's just a setup for another McMahon to show that he's better than anyone.
That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah.
So
by creating a must-see spectacle, like Vince McMahon taking a headbutt by Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon jumping off a cage to deliver an elbow and actually missed that one. It wants to create an oh my god moment, but it doesn't really use what they have, but rather they use what they wanted to use, which is
right. Right.
So there's that. Anyway, all in all, I think that this match is excellent. It doesn't really mar the fact that I would say that this is a match of the night, because I think I already agreed on you. The match of the night was definitely the tag team championship defense.
Yeah. Overall score and rating for this pay-per-view, C minus for me, because everything there was after the tag match, there was nothing that could redeem the shit that we had throughout the night, because every match was shit. They tried with the main event, Hell in a Cell, Shane and KO, and it was just too much. They over-spectacled the spectacle.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree. I think if I wanted to prop it up, I'd still give it a C, because the main event and the tag team championship defense held it up. The rest was more average and meh. And of course, one of the matchup, which is Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura, was terrible in my opinion. Of course, there's also the point of fact that they let a racist win, but I escape on that one.
Oh, Doncel.
Mm-hmm.
Doncel, he is going to go off about that.
Not just Doncel. There's a lot of people who actually caught on to that because you're letting.
It's not the first
story-
time. It's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
They did the same thing with Triple H and Booker T,
Yes.
where Triple H won and Triple H was playing the racist.
Yes,
So
he
there's
did.
that.
But if we wanted to defend Triple H on that one, at that point of time, the whole racist card isn't really prevalent on that time. Nowadays, it's getting more and more press, more and more coverage, so people are talking about it more. So anything that considered that does sound racist is immediately brought up as racist. I'm not defending. I'm not really saying that it's good.
I went there when I heard about it.
Mhm.
When I saw it. You know this.
Yes, I did. But I'm not defending. I'm not really deriding. I'm just saying that there's always another story to tell when a lot of this has happened. But anyway, let's not mar the fact on that one and quickly move on to.
Well, no, we got to get Ambrose Alley's grade. You gave it a C. I gave it a C minus. AA, what do you got?
Minus.
Okay.
And only
Okay, now
because of the tag team match.
That saved it. That saved the entire show.
Yeah.
The rest, like MD said, the rest of the show was meh.
It was a whole lot of meh burger and a whole lot of meh fries and with the meh soda. So there's
That's it.
I only got a good dessert in the form of tag teams and probably Kevin Owens and
Excellent dessert with the tag team division.
yes, that's the only thing I get.
We
But
move
anyway.
on to Raw.
Oh hell yes!
Hell yeah, of course we go to Raw.
Yes, I know.
We have to go to Raw.
Better yet, why don't we go to SmackDown Live first?
Let's do that.
Make
SmackDown
AA,
Live.
let's make AA wait.
Considering the fact that we just talked about SmackDown's pay-per-view, let's just move on to SmackDown Live.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense, right? Okay. Of course. I think like we argued, like we conversed earlier on, it was quite interesting because I feel like this week's SmackDown carried off from Hell in a Cell and what happened from Hell in a Cell, and what happened in Hell in a Cell propped up this show a little bit more. So it makes it a little bit more interesting to watch.
Maybe they're coming out of their valley.
Yeah, in a little sense.
But
I mean,
the opening was fantastic.
yeah.
You have the
I won't-
Usos. You have the Usos come out, and they were selling that they were pretty beat up,
Yes.
and they didn't come out the normal heel route of gloating. You know,
Oh, no.
we won, kiss my ass. You know, blah 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 blah. No, they called out the New Day.
Well, they kind of sold it a little bit, just a little bit, but
Just a
not
little.
by much. Just a little, just not
Yeah,
much.
then they called out the New Day,
Mhm.
and New Day came out and got in the ring, kind of similar to what they did the week before,
Mhm.
and the Usos basically were telling them that they are and have owned the tag team division on both SmackDown and Raw, and to be perfectly honest with you, they have.
I agree.
The past 2 years, the matches that they have been in, each one has gotten better. Each one has gotten, just when you think you've seen it all between these guys, they come up, they bring out something new.
Of course. Because just when you thought that you've seen everything that these two can give, they brought something new, especially back in Hell in a Cell. Just when you thought that you've seen these two battle it out, and just when you thought that you've seen everything that can happen in a Hell in a Cell, they created something new.
Yeah. The kendo stick, pinning, was it Jay in the corner?
It was Jimmy in the corner.
Pinning him in the corner of
With
the
the
cell
kendo stick
with the
was-
kendo sticks was brilliant.
Mhm.
The handcuff spot was brilliant. Big E
And-
breaks a pair,
Mhm.
which is believable because that's just how strong he is.
Yes. Because he is
Um,
deceptively strong. But anyway, talking about these two were kind of like reconsidering. The segment was that the Usos and the New Day were kind of like considering a truce with each other. Are we going to do? Are we going to just just leave it at B? And then suddenly we have a crowded table where Hype Bros comes in to demand more opportunities, followed by both Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable stepping in to push back against the idea. And then suddenly and surprisingly, both Breezango and the Ascension joined the fray just to toss it in, which is pretty funny in and all of itself, until SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan comes in to make it a
And boy, did he sound
player.
pissed. And boy, did he sound pissed off.
He did. It feels like, oh no, this is going way out of my hands, and this is what I'm gonna do. Even though it's gonna feel like a little bit of Theodore Long-ish kind of way, I'm gonna toss all of you 4 teams in a battle to determine the new number 1 contenders. There.
Which I had a feeling it was going to be Gable and oh damn it, I can't. His name just flew out of my head.
Benjamin.
And Benjamin, yeah. Thank you. I hate when that happens, and this happens to me quite often. I'll have a thought, and then I'll start, and all of a sudden, poof.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I hope you and Ambrose Ali can agree that this is actually a nice exchange between the Usos and New Day, and it's kind of like a wrap up. Although I hope it doesn't come to that as a wrap up back again. It just kind of like reinvigorated the whole tag team division back again as a whole when Usos tried to make peace with the New Day. Then the New Day is kind of like mulling it over, kind of thinking that, okay, maybe we could just put it out as a truce. Even Kofi Kingston make a joke, something like an Us truce.
Yeah.
Then
finally they just said no.
And then
respect.
Yeah,
just that one word, respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a brilliant way to end it.
Yep. And well, of course, brilliant way to end it. And then of course, when we come to of course the Fatal 4-Way for the number 1 contender match, it didn't really affect it that much, and I thought it was a good match. All 4 teams tossed in. All 4 teams had their chance to shine. All 4 teams, even the Ascension for that matter, looked good coming in, and coming up from it, they look good. So it's because I'm not gonna even though you'd kind of argue that Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin is a little bit too early to come forth against the Usos for the tag team championship. This serves as a more reintroduction of the tag team division for SmackDown, and when they produce something that looks this good, I think in a sense that I'm slowly beginning to look forward to the rebuilding of the tag team division on SmackDown, not just on SmackDown, hopefully. So there's that.
Well, it was nice bring other tag teams to show that, hey, yeah, there's more tag teams on SmackDown than just the Usos and New Day.
Yeah, I agree, because here's the thing. Because we kind of sort of tend to forget that, okay, there's only Usos and the New Day fighting. Hey, there's another set of tag teams that you kind of sort of would have forgotten had we not reintroduced them back again. I mean, not just these 4. I mean, Bludgeon Brothers, aka Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, made a re-debut back again, and they look good.
No, they didn't. They didn't compete. They just did a vignette. When they're coming, we don't know.
Mm-hmm. They did a vignette, but I'm putting benefit of the doubt, and I'm looking forward to just seeing them back again, because these 2 can go, and I'm just looking forward to seeing both Luke Harper and Eric Rowan coming in. Of course,
can he lose the mask, please?
Let's hope he loses the mask. You can probably ask him, can you lose the mask, Eric Rowan?
He probably look at me and punch me in the throat. Or send his buddy Jason Voorhees to my door.
Oh, no. Considering that it is Friday the 13th, people.
Yes.
Please don't wish Jason Voorhees coming on to TakersMinion's door. He still has a long way to go, people. I don't want to lose my partner.
Always invite Freddie.
Oh, no.
No, that's worse. But I don't live on Elm Street, so I don't have to worry about it.
I live on the other end of the world from Elm Street, so I don't need to worry about that either.
That's true.
Anyway,
We
quickly
digress.
we digress. Moving on to Becky Lynch versus Carmella. To me, quickly speaking, it's a match that happened. Sure, Becky Lynch wins a match by submission, but of course, anyone can win against Carmella, especially when James Ellsworth is considered.
He's tied up to the ring post like a dog. Which leads me to the I guess you could say vignette that leaked or got out on the internet. It says it's WWE exclusive, but I don't think so. Of Carmella treating him literally like a dog and making him bark. And James Ellsworth drinking out of a bowl. What's that?
Vince did it to Trish.
Yes,
oh, yeah,
I know.
Vince.
I know.
I know.
We
know. I remember that one. Yeah.
So do I, and I didn't like it then, and I don't like this now. But besides the fact, it is what it is. You know.
Okay. But here's the thing, though. I got the vibe that it went straight from PG and went back into Attitude Era-ish with that one.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Because it straight away went to BDSM territory for me, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, that's what it is. Believe it or not, there is. Now you're talking to someone who's done a lot of stuff in his life, and I've researched it and other things, and this is pet play is part of it.
Yes, this is pet play at its basic. I think this is pet play at its basic finest.
Basic levels, yeah.
Yeah, at its basicity, and let's quickly move on. Because I think it's more that Carmella is trying to assert dominance in this one. Of course that she wanted to put James Ellsworth in his place. You are not to be interfering. You are not supposed to interfere. Whatever. Whether this is a good way of showing it by putting him on a pet play. I'll reserve my judgment when this goes a little bit longer than it should.
Which, knowing WWE, it will.
Yes, exactly. I'll reserve judgment when something other than this happens. So there's that.
Well, let's put it this way: if Carmella suddenly comes out in black leather with a riding crop next week, we got problems.
Oh, you know. Oh, you know it. You know that WWE
thigh-high
is
boots.
definitely thinking. Thigh-high boots, leather chaps, probably rock some riding crop or even a leather whip. You know that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah. One sense, I'm like this. Poor James.
Poor James. And
turtle, but still.
Turtle without a shell.
Let's not forget, James Ellsworth actually said that this is Carmella's idea.
I would believe it.
This is Carmella's idea of pairing them together.
Why WWE? Why?
Why Carmella? Why actually? Not why WWE? Why? Why Carmella? Why? And of course, I think with the advent of WWE shippers, you know exactly where that is gonna go.
Oh yeah, in the Bailey pile eventually. I hope.
Hopefully so. Anyway, let's quickly move on to the segment where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are brothers, best friends. Friendship reigns supreme once more.
Until
Go ahead.
stabs Sammy again.
I don't think it's going to be Kevin's going to stab Sammy. I think it's going to be the other way around.
Oh, it's going to be surprising if Sammy is the one who stabs Kevin Owens in the back.
Because Kevin already stabbed Jericho.
Mm-hmm. Kevin already stabbed Sammy.
Jericho stabbed AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of backstabbing here.
Yes, and it all circles around Kevin Owens.
Of course. There's a lot of backstabbing here involving him. I think if you want to go full circle, Kevin Owens is due for a backstabbing on his own.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I just can't see Sammy as a heel. I just can't. It doesn't fit his character at all.
I agree.
Especially with what he's done with the surgical unit that he was able to purchase and send over to Syria.
Yes, I agree.
So
Here's the thing. I
I just don't see it.
Okay, I see the story point being logical because what his reasoning being to help Owens is actually really logical. Shane McMahon never really cared about him. Uh, Shane McMahon doesn't really care about Sami Zayn back then. The only person that he can actually rely on is his enemy, and also his brother, Kevin Owens. Okay, I see it logical speaking, but doesn't but like you said, doesn't it go back to all the wholesome positive things that you did in the internet, like you said, delivering medical supplies to Syria? Of course, yes. What a person does outside of the WWE ring doesn't really compute with what his character is in the ring. The best. But yeah, it doesn't really jive that much. It doesn't really gel together back in, because like what I can say is that the heel aura doesn't really feel right on Sami Zayn. I mean, even Becky Lynch says it. No, 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 no. I do not believe it. But yeah, going out from it as well. I feel that his alliance with Owens has big potential, though.
Well, I'd just be curious to see about the payoff.
Yeah, because we haven't really seen the payoff of it yet. This is just starting. It has potential because we know that these two has a lot of history together, way back in the Indies as well as Kevin Steen and El Generico. So there's that. And even if you want to include their debut in NXT, they already had history and chemistry when they fought against each other.
Right.
When Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens debuted alongside Sami Zayn at that time, and then delivered the pop-up power bomb there. So there is that. So in a sense, it kind of worked. It's a 50-50 for me. It does work on one side. It doesn't really work on the other side. So there's that. So
Yeah,
I like
but do we trust WWE to play it out right?
No.
Yeah. You know WWE is gonna convolute this up or screw this up one way or the other.
They can screw up a wet dream, but that I digress.
Let's move on. This was the other. Let's pair these two people together in a tag team match against one another with both Nakamura and Orton versus Rusev and Aiden English. The only thing that I like about this is that Aiden English works very, very well as ring introducer of person, and that said person is Rusev.
Yes. But we got to remember, Aiden English is married to one of Eddie Guerrero's daughters. Hence, that's why he's still around.
Yes, I know. But I still don't know what Aiden English's point is. He's just coming in as ring announcer to announce the coming of Rusev and fights alongside Rusev. That's it.
He's Rusev's stooge.
Yeah, basically speaking. That's the highlight on the opening. The highlight of the closing of the match is also fun. What happens in between is a meh filling in between a good sandwich.
Yeah. They had all the makings for a great sandwich and somehow screwed it up.
They did. I mean, the bread was... Oh, yeah. Wait, do we even need cheese on this one? There's no cheese.
Oh, the only cheese I would put on it is Lindbergh.
Ah.
And that stuff is horrid smelling.
Never mind. I mean, I can quickly just go skate over this one and just say that, it just happens. It just happens.
Right.
Opening was fine, closing was fine. What happens in between is just filler all the way. If this match didn't happen on this SmackDown week, it's fine. There's nothing to it. You can easily forget it in like what T minus 1 day.
I think after the opening, I went and took a shit and came back and saw the end.
There you go. You will forget it in T minus 1 day. Yeah, already forgot.
I'd forgotten about that match altogether because it was like, let's see, it seemed like, the only one that was actually working hard was Aiden English. The rest of them were like, we'll just mail it in tonight.
Yeah. It happened. And then again, there's another segment that, it happened again with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler crossing paths again.
Which I have issue with right away.
Okay, let's hear it from you. What do you...
Bobby Roode's out in the ring cutting his promo. Then Dolph Ziggler comes out with his whatever no gimmick entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs his mouth about, I see you cheated. You saw that you were going to lose, blah, blah, blah. You had to cheat. Well, going back to the pay-per-view, Dolph started the whole grabbing the handful of tights, and they kept rolling over, which I still don't understand that one.
Yeah.
But, yes, Roode had a handful of tights.
Yes.
Fine. Ref didn't see it. Wins good, blah, blah, blah. He comes out, and Ziggler challenges him to anytime, any place, anywhere. Roode then says, fine, let's do it right now. And Ziggler walks away. At my time, I'll choose a time and the place. Wait a minute, make up your goddamn mind. I'm sorry, make up your goddamn mind.
Yes.
If you're going to do it right now, when he says, okay, fine, let's do this, or you're going to say, no, I'll pick the spot. No, you can't have it both ways. That's my issue.
Yeah. Okay. Ambrose Alley, do you have any issues on this one?
Not really.
This is the other part where you just skated over.
Yeah, it's I was really hoping there would be another match.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. Of course, they kind of like teased that moment where, okay, do you want another match? I want another rematch. Roode actually just automatically says agreed. Okay, let's have a match.
Even the ref was there.
Yeah. I mean, you don't do the tease when you already agreed on it. You don't do the teasing stick when you already agreed that you're gonna have a match, no matter where, no matter when. You don't just go say, okay, I want a match. Yes, I agree. Let's just tease it out for about another seconds more and let me walk off. No, you don't. This version of Ziggler is easily no bang with your buck. There's not a lot of bang for your buck on this one. I don't see a lot of chemistry between Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler because they kind of like hesitate a little bit on their lines even. I think that's where a little bit of the miscommunication comes in. To me, I think Roode needs to move on from Dolph Ziggler quickly, and Ziggler needs another reboot. Just simple as that. Or just
send him back to
go.
NXT or get him something.
This
is not working.
This is not it. This is not
not working.
Even if this is actually Dolph Ziggler's idea, which I highly doubt it is, it's not working. Either you reset him, go move him back into NXT just to reset and redo something, do something with him, or just, future endeavor him. Bye-bye.
Like I said in the chat room while listening to two guys last night, I'm adding a fourth person. I'm adding a fourth thing that will survive a nuclear holocaust. That is Twinkies, cockroaches, AAA, and Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, you forgot GFW as well.
Oh, yeah, GFW.
So that means 5.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Considering that Dolph Ziggler is a former World Heavyweight Champion and a former WWE Champion, and this is what happens to him. Yeah, I can't say much about that.
They screwed him up. I mean, he's never really gotten past the Spirit Squad. I mean,
He never really did. He never really did. Because I tend to agree on that one. He never really did got over the Spirit Squad persona. It still it's gonna haunt him to this day. Basically,
it's going to haunt him till the day he dies.
yes, it's gonna do that. Anyway, considering the fact that we have another main event to talk about on SmackDown, it's Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles for the U.S. Championship.
Start with AA on this one.
Okay.
Start with me on this one.
Yes, you.
Okay. I was really hoping that AJ would take the title back.
Aha.
And that's coming from someone who likes Baron Corbin.
Oh, okay.
I do like Baron Corbin, but I wanted the title back on AJ.
Can you say why?
I just think that AJ the belt than Corbin can.
So you're saying AJ can carry it better than Corbin?
Yeah, he can carry it a lot better because he's got the experience.
True, I'll give you that. But I look at it this way. You know, they've had such great success with Jinder Mahal. Why not put the belt on Corbin?
Okay. I'll
see my point?
I
You really want to piss off the fans? Leave the belt on Baron Corbin for a while. That's going to really burn the internet to the ground.
I mean, he's already reacting so well, even in talking smack. It feels good to rub this in the face of all the keyboard warriors.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let him run with that. Let him run with that, because that will be a way for WWE to tell, and for Vince to sit there. Vince will sit, I can hear Vince in the office now. Why? You want to know why? Fuck you. That's why.
Oh, God. I
You
mean,
know, the pain he's going to inflict on the internet. He's finally decided, fuck the internet. I'm going to do what I want. And if they don't like it, they can kiss my hairy white ass.
yeah, okay. I can see that. Okay. I mean,
I finally figured it out. Gee, what? Bright lights and angels singing. Jesus Christ.
I think on that comment, I think Fizz is gonna be singing praises from the heavens that he's doing that. I mean, consider this. This is a guy that we call him Wily Baron Corbin, considering the fact that he can't really decide on what to do, even with John Cena and AJ Styles, for that matter. He got his ass burned on Twitter once with
by Nikki Bella
and Dave Meltzer, for that matter.
True.
Legends Lover neutered him.
Yes, she did.
And he lost his chance at Money in the Bank.
Right.
And yet now he's holding the U.S. title.
But there's a little known fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I think AA is old enough to remember that even Wile E. Coyote eventually caught the Roadrunner, and he did it once, and he didn't know what to do. You see that one? It's out there. It's hard to find. It's a very little known fact that Wile E. Coyote actually caught the Roadrunner, and he held up one of his famous signs. What do I do next?
Okay.
So yes, Wile E. Baron Corbin won the title, but he already knew what to do next. Go after the internet.
Yep.
Brilliant. It is absolutely freaking brilliant.
I think this is the moment there that WWE kind of seems sort of like to recognize this. Okay, this is what actually works for Baron Corbin. Let's just stick him there, I think. So in a sense, it works. It works.
Why? Because fuck you, that's why.
I am extremely disappointed that I didn't say that in a based Vince voice, because right now my voice is going on and off, on and off.
Yeah. Hey, pal. Why? Because fuck you, that's why.
I mean, sure. Okay. out
And
outside from the whole.
I believe AA can see my logic in all of this.
I can
Yeah.
I could see that too. I can see that too. But here's the thing: outside from the whole shenanigans and all that, this was one of Corbin's better matches.
It was. I'll
There's
give it
chemistry.
credit.
Yeah, I see chemistry between both Corbin and Styles in this one. It kind of like this is a point where where either Corbin or Styles, or maybe Corbin for that matter, says, "Oh, I think this is exactly what I should be doing. I think this is exactly what I should be doing from the offset, rather than stalling and stopping and starting back again. This is doing wonders for his career. It's doing wonders to restart back his kind of like stop start motion. So there's that. And let's not forget that we also have Ty Dillinger in the wings for him. So there's that.
Yeah,
Who
Ty
knows?
Dillinger, the thorn in Baron's side.
Exactly. So all in all, I like the matchup. The main event was great. The the opening segment was great. There's a few bright spots that I can say, like the Fatal 4-Way, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn segment, of course. Not much. It certainly did better than Hell in a Cell, for that matter. So
It did.
there's-
It did.
It
It delivered
followed up.
much. It delivered much better.
And it followed up from Hell in a Cell much better than I expected. So
Like I
there's
said,
that.
maybe they're on the upswing out of that valley they've been in for the last 7 months.
Yes. So yes, there's that. So I think I'll decide. Even though I watched 205 Live, I think I'm gonna skip 205 Live for this week.
All right, then we can go on to NXT.
Yeah.
Yes, hey, we're gonna make you wait even more.
Make me wait even more. Okay, because I didn't watch NXT.
I did.
I did. We did. We kind of
The triple threat match, women's match. Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross, and
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan.
Yes,
Good match.
I agree. Good match.
Um,
Not particularly spectacular by any means. This
the Undisputed Era has the wrong woman in their group right now. We all know who I want there.
yes, I know who you want there, but here's the thing.
Mercedes Martinez. That
Of
would have
course.
been.
That would have been wonderful, but
Oh
like
God!
you said, that would have been wonderful. But let's not forget, we still have War Games. We still have NXT Takeover coming up as well. And let's not forget as well, after the whole triple threat match between these three, there's the fallout between what happened, and Tainara Conti was saying that, oh, okay, now I've already done what you asked to do. Now what? I expect payment, and all three of them were just playing it off. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. No, of course, like that.
Hmm.
So let's not forget that Tainara Conti can actually flip back against the Undisputed Era back again.
So I
And
let
you
that
do
door
not-
open.
Yeah.
I didn't
they
see that. I did not
Yeah.
see that. So
Because of course, yes, they kind of like slotted in Tainara Conti just to be a thorn on Nikki Cross's side. Sorry,
yes.
but on the same point, with that backstage fallout happening, they kind of left the door open on Tainara Conti flipping against them, and you do not want to flip. You do not want to have a female Brazilian who is a master of jiu-jitsu flip against you. Even if you're a man, she can kick your ass.
She probably rip your arm off and beat you with it.
Yep.
Anyway,
It delivered as much as triple threat matches did. Peyton Royce won, which will make someone in cage side seats very, very happy. Yell to the top.
he's been up in the clouds about it.
Let's not forget that
Already
Peyton-
calling her the new.
Let's not forget that Peyton Royce could actually flip, and Billy Kay could actually turn against Peyton Royce, for that matter. So there's that.
Yeah, I hope.
And adding Royce in would have adding some heel heat to the match. So Because let's not forget, people are considering the Fatal 4-Way on War Games to be babyface heavy. So there's that. Especially when you want to contend against Kairi Sane, who is a heavy babyface.
She's a heavy favorite right now.
So there's that. Anyway, the second debut of Lio Rush.
He impressed me, actually.
He did.
That little, I'm going to say that little shit is fast. God, is he fast.
He is quick. I should definitely consider you go and watch his old stuff because he has a lot of quickness. He has a lot of pace. He's frighteningly agile. Scarily agile, for that matter.
I mean, to turn on a dime from coming straight at Patrick Clark, a.k.a. Velveteen Dream, and turn 45 degrees to hit the ropes and then do a baseball slide underneath. It's like, whoa. Did I just see that?
You did.
I was like, whoa.
You did.
I was like, and the running around and all of a sudden jump up, kick him in the head. Boom. I was like,
oh,
God almighty.
He is quick.
I see a lot of upside with him. A lot. But unfortunately, I see him getting pigeonholed into the CW division.
He kind of does, but judging from his carrying weight and all that, I think he could definitely work well as the main roster. Considering the fact that
we thought that about Neville too, and we see what's happening now.
Yes, exactly. And of course, okay. Considering that it's a small side going at that one, I feel that Neville's rumored exit from WWE is kind of like considered on that one. I mean, he has legitimate gripe. He has a legitimate gripe if what the rumors are telling to be true. I mean, getting his deal cut off, getting his royalty cut off, surely would piss anyone off. So that's that.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of give you can do to a company until you can say, nope, this is not the time anymore.
Right.
There's a lot of things. And I think if Neville is already feeling that, okay, this is not the time for me to give in to them a little bit more, because he knows that he's good. He knows that he's great, even talented, even. I mean, he worked in the main roster before he worked into CW for quite a while already.
Yeah, he was relegated to when he came back to the CW division after he did that baseball slide and basically snapped his ankle in half.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just an accident in a match with Jericho.
Mm-hmm. It was an accident, unfortunate accident, but I think it's just starting from there that he stemmed like he can do better, he should do better, he can do better. It's just that he can't control his outcome. The only thing that he can control is what he can control now, which is him exiting, if the rumors are saying. But anyway, comparing Neville to Lio Rush, I think there's parallels to be created. He doesn't look the body type of Neville, but he has the same pace, he has the same agility, he has the same elusiveness that Neville has as well. So there's that. Of course, there's a little bit nitpicks where, if you notice, when Lio Rush comes into the ring, he faced away from the camera, and he had the referee tell him twice to.
Yeah, I saw that.
Watch the main cam twice, and then okay, now I'm sorry.
Well, he's got a lot to learn about the WWE style. That's all.
Yeah,
but other than that, his in-ring work his work rate is brilliant. I love it.
It is. Mm-hmm.
He's someone I can get behind.
I love to see what's going to happen. Even though this is it is just for feeding. It is just to feed the ongoing feud between Black and Velveteen Dream. I think that's fine. So there's that. Then we have Lars Sullivan defeating Oney Lorcan, and one of the more hard hitting matches that we expect Oney Lorcan to deliver. And he also battled Danny Burch in a follow-up as well in that one. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. Between the rivalry of Lorcan and Burch, we have Lars Sullivan coming in. There's that.
The next Braun Strowman.
We've already said that a lot of times already.
Yes.
And considering the fact that the uptake of Sullivan, slowly but surely, he is slowly and surely becoming the next strongman in the NXT division. So there's that. I'm surprised that actually Lorcan gets squished on this one, because even though he delivered his retaliation in hard hitting fashion, Lars Sullivan took it and then delivered it back to Lorcan back again, which kind of sort of seems like a squash match, but I like it. Shows that he's a strong man not to be messed with. So
there is that.
It would have been nice to see the follow-up where Birch get a little bit more offense, unlike Lorcan. But, I mean, of course, you need to have a quick wrap-up with both Birch and Lorcan getting squished by Lars Sullivan. So there's that. Nice build-up. Couldn't have done better myself. And then we have, of course, Street Profits versus local enhancement talent in this one. This is just... This is just a way of putting Street Profits in action back again. And you can clearly see that Montez Ford is the one of getting the star treatment rather than Angelo Dawkins. That's it.
Yet again.
That's it.
Angelo Dawkins, I'll say this. Angelo Dawkins can go.
He does.
He's got all the ring savvy in the world. That's like they're just not giving him the chance to shine.
Exactly. He did. I think WWE blew WWE blew his chance a little bit, because let's not forget Angelo Dawkins initially was paired up with Sasha Banks, for that matter. Let's not forget that initially Angelo Dawkins was paired up with Sasha Banks when coming into NXT, and Sasha Banks had a lot of upside going in. But then what happened to Angelo Dawkins? He will fade it into the division until he comes out with Montez Ford as Street Profits. And even then, I'd say that he looks like the Marty Jannetty of the two, with Montez Ford going in feeling like Shawn Michaels all over.
Yep, I would agree.
Of course, again, like I said, this is another squash match for them. We've seen Street Profits do this again. It's just that, well, they kind of like they wanted to cement the whole charisma, the whole energy and excitement that the Street Profits can bring. It's interesting. It's lovely. I feel like WWE marketing the black and gold cup in the WWE store is ridiculous.
A freaking solo cup.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Well, but the thing about it is, a solo cup is over just like Daryl and Carol are at NJPW and the rubber sex doll in NJPW. So there's that.
I digress. I digress on that one.
And I bet AA is sitting there going, what the hell?
Just giggling to myself.
You can giggle out loud all you want. It's fine, because it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Freaking those two guys got a freaking plastic solo cup over. And people are buying it. And I said, did you see the phones?
Yeah.
Cell phones in the crowd had a red solo cup up, because that's what they started with, was a plain red solo cup.
Now it's a black and gold solo cup that WWE is selling in the WWE shop.
Yeah, and they're selling, I think, for like $15, and they can't keep them in.
They can't.
Hell, I even want one, because it's
buy.
What's that?
Oh.
People won't buy.
People are buying it. There were several of them in the crowd at Full Sail, for Christ's sake.
They're already
I was being
buying
sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just like a few shirts that debuted Monday night, and they're already sold out of large 2X and 3X sizes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And they're running out of hoodies too, because they got hoodies too. So this has been something that's been in the works. But I digress. We'll finish up NXT, then we'll go on to the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
I think it's more than
800-pound gorilla.
I think it's more than 1 ton in the room. But anyway, the main event features Johnny Gargano versus Cien Almas, of course.
With Selena Vega. I remembered her name this week.
Thank you. Good job on you. 100 points goes to you. Johnny Gargano sought a much-needed victory against the man who just barely defeated him back at TakeOver. Almas, of course. This one kind of like carried over the matchup between them at TakeOver. It followed through with this one. with a lot of with a lot of hard-hitting spots, a lot of fast-paced motions in order. It was a phenomenal match to cap the show of NXT this week.
Yes, it was. It was a
this
great
was
match.
it was a great match. Definitely the match of the night, probably the segment of the night, even considering the fact that we don't really have a lot of wrestling matches anyways. But these two are surely creating a lot of chemistry together. I feel like this is just like how Sami Zayn is wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura back when they were in NXT, just like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens back when they were in NXT, but without the complicated story. It's just these two have a rivalry with each other, simple as that. Zelina Vega is trying to play mind games with Johnny Gargano. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, surprising move that Almas actually won. Defeated Johnny Gargano, even though Zelina Vega tried to play the mind games by taking off her jacket and shows the DIY top, but it doesn't really affect him now, of course. It moves on the storyline where Almas is quite possibly, trying to set himself up for NXT Championship contention.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because the addition of Zelina Vega is really looking like he's helping him getting the momentum he deserves.
Yeah, it's getting him focused.
Yep. No more Tranquilo stuff. Just more focused on you. That's it.
To go take care of your business in the ring.
Yes. Then after you take care of business in the ring, then you can be as Tranquilo as you want or anywhere.
Right.
For Gargano, however, it continues his story of shortcomings after his breakup with Tommaso Ciampa. So there's that as well. So
on a side note, I mentioned this in our meetings today. I finally figured out why I like NXT so much.
Okay, go ahead.
It is a throwback style, if you think about it. I've been, like I said, I was watching some of the older matches this week when I was off. The old studio matches.
Yes.
Maybe 50 people in a television studio. And that's the kind of ambience that they're setting at Full Sail. Yeah, it's not a 20,000 seat arena. That's not even halfway sold out. It's a small, intimate setting in a television studio. And it has more of an old school feel. That is one of the reasons I like NXT so much.
I can see that.
Which is why I don't really want to miss a week NXT. If I don't miss I don't want to miss a week because they punch the stories along even with just backstage stuff or interviews. And it reminds me of the 60s and 70s wrestling I watched when I was young.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a more intimate, it's a more up close and personal kind of feel to that matter, and it works. You give these shows that have a more personal, a more intimate build to them, you give them a lot more screen time, and a lot of people will definitely gyrate towards it.
True.
You mean? You know what? Let's just skip this over. Let's just get the 800-pound gorilla out of the room, or elephant out of the room, or whale out of the room right now, as we swiftly and surely move on to Raw.
Oh yeah.
Of course, the.
I wanted to punish you a little bit, make you suffer. I wanted to be.
I didn't suffer that much.
I wanted to be the Vincent Kennedy McMahon of the show.
Let's divulge. Let's divulge Taker for his impression of Vince.
It's terrible, I know.
No one's perfect in replicating Vince McMahon aside from Vince McMahon himself, but we're just dragging Ambrose Alley out here in the open, just
trying to wring out her emotions because she's been so far up in the clouds all week. It's not even funny.
It's not even funny anymore.
She might have some brain damage from lack of oxygen, but I digress.
Anyway, okay.
I'm already a lunatic, so loss of brain function works.
Okay,
it keeps the voices in your head quiet, huh?
Yes.
Yes, of course. The segment, the Miz TV segment with him and the bar, of course. Of course, it's a setup for the Shield reuniting.
But it was done so wonderfully.
It was. I mean, Roman's out there saying the last word I loved it was, "Who said they were rumors?" Mic drops, and I'm
Yep.
like, then all of a sudden Ambrose's music hits, and I'm like, no way, no, this can't be happening. And then
And
burn it down, and I'm like, holy shit, it is happening. And my whole body was instant freaking chills. I was just like sat in my chair, and my mouth fell open, and I was in the chills.
Okay.
I was like, this
I
is
lost my pants.
Yeah, I lost all of my pants. All my pants in the house went flying out the window.
At
Oh,
first,
Oh boy. I mean, I can argue all day whether WWE should have waited for should have waited for the Shield reunion for a better date, should have waited for the Shield reunion for a better opponent, sort of nitpicked here, there, everywhere, yada 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 yada. Yeah. I'll just keep this off and say that this is perfect.
It was absolutely the perfect. The
I'll
timing was
reserve-
perfect.
Yes. I'll reserve everything that I wanted to say, I wanted to nitpick, and then just say that it's perfect. You cannot deny the fact that Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins reuniting creates a lot of buzz, creates a lot of talking points. It was a strong segment.
It's going to steal from Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason behind it, I think.
We can hypothesize about why the reason they wanted to reunite the Shield back again into whatever positives or whatever negative thinking that they wanted to put. But you cannot deny that this moment was a perfect moment for them to reunite back again. And look what happened just after they reunited. It puts back life into the Raw this week. Even though the matches weren't there, even though the matches wasn't delivering, you have the thought in the back of your mind that, oh, the Shield could potentially jump in and just deliver justice.
Yep.
like they did to Strowman.
You anticipate that.
Oh God, did they ever?
Yeah, you anticipate that. You kind of like have that feeling in the back that, oh, when are they going to jump into any heels? Any heel in the Raw division took notice on that one, that they cannot step a foot further. If they do, they would have the Hounds of Justice back at them. And that was what happens when Matt Hardy faced Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman winning that one. It's just a little more excuse to get Strowman in front of the live audience and then getting his comeuppance with Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins all together.
I like what Cole is calling the triple power bomb. He's calling it the Shield bomb. Brilliant. They never had a name for it prior to that night.
Yep. I agree. Although
and then all of a sudden, Cole saying Shield bomb, and I'm like,
although I do remember that
perfect.
Yeah, but although I do really remember that it was called Code Black once for the triple power run. It could have been called Code Black for that matter, but okay, I can definitely go with Shield Bomb as well. So there's that.
Shield Bomb makes more sense, I think.
Yeah, but of course, people
and if you looked at it, the three of them come down the ramps around the ring on the Miz and everybody. There's Rollins directing. You go over there, go over there, go over there. You over there, over there, over there. And then they all get up on the ring almost simultaneously. It's just like like the old day. It was everything. It's like they never missed a step.
They never did. They didn't miss a step.
Roman was late getting in the ring, but he yanked Axel out and threw him into the steps head first. So
poor Axel.
He's got the short end of the stick, the shortest end of the stick, I think, on that matter.
I do kind of feel sorry for Axel.
I feel sorry for Bo. They both took a beating last week at Roman's hands, and Bo's not there this week.
of course, the story being that someone is sick in the Wyndham household. But aside from that, I think he's just selling off the injury a lot more than just.
You mean
Anyway,
the Rotundo household?
the Rotunda household.
Because he's also a Rotunda.
But
Remember, Bray's real name is Wyndham Rotunda.
I knew. But anyway, the whole thing is just a setup and a re. The whole opening segment is just a setup for the Shield reuniting. Braun Strowman and Matt Hardy's match is just a way of putting Braun Strowman out there and then just letting the Shield deliver justice to them. Because let's not forget, Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns have their asses whooped by Braun Strowman. Had their asses whooped by Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Okay, AA, what was your take on the opening of Raw? Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
Time for you to gush. Time for you to gush all over the Shield.
I'm actually not going to gush and gush and gush and gush.
You have
Done enough
permission.
of that.
You have our permission to go right ahead.
I just thought it was so nostalgic. It brought everything back.
Mhm.
I only felt sorry for Axel.
Okay.
Got what he deserved, or the Miss got what he deserved.
The myths. I love it.
Please do not
In
let Sal
honor of-
listen to this.
I guess I have someone in my camp when it comes to the myths.
Yeah, my
Okay,
friend.
Go ahead.
She's the one who calls him the Miss.
Okay.
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 It was just wonderful to see it again, and then it's so perfectly.
Mm.
Miz can just sell the shock and a little bit of fear and picked all around.
I have one minor nitpick about it.
Mhm.
When they cleared the ring and Ambrose and Rollins jumped out to cut Miz off from leaving,
Mhm.
Ambrose broke to the ring before Miz did. That's the only thing I saw that was wrong. But other than that, it was a brilliant. Because I knew I knew he was going to get his. I knew it. I was like, oh yeah, kill that little bastard. Kill him. Kill him dead.
I can imagine Taker and
I was standing up going, yes, get that little bastard. Yes. Put him at my TV.
I thought so. I knew it. I knew it.
Sorry, Sal.
I mean, I love the moment where, especially when the Miz is just noticing all three of them there, and he's going, his facial expression is just going, "What the hell have I done?"
Yeah, I said Miz sold it so perfectly.
He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, the whole thing is kind of like the icing on top of a good cake. And like I said, the whole thing is, even though the whole thing is just a setup of the Shield reuniting as well, it doesn't really detract the rest of the show. It kind of like elevated the show, where you have a feeling that the Shield is gonna interrupt or make their presence known one way or another. Even though the matches like Jason Jordan versus Carl Anderson don't really deliver, there's always the motion of the fact that there's bound to be something happening, of course. I only have a nitpick where that match with Jason Jordan versus Carl Anderson, where of course Machine Gun Carl got the loss, but
they got to keep that kid strong.
Yep, they got to keep that kid.
For what? I don't know yet.
Agreed. I haven't really seen the end game or the final story for Jason Jordan, for this matter. Don't really see it yet. So there's that. I understand the logic of Jason Jordan winning. It's just that I don't see the end game for it yet.
Who noticed Graves calling out Booker T?
Really? He did?
He called him out more than once. 1 minute Booker T's talking about the nepotism thing, and the next minute this kid is good, and then Gray's like, "There you go, flip flopping again."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and Booker T changed sides 3 or 4 times during that match.
He's like a wet slipper ready to flip at a moment's notice.
He's had more flips than Big Show last month.
And he's not even wrestling.
Yes.
Matter.
No offense, Big Show, but
Please don't come to my house and crush my head.
no, don't send your buddy Jason to see me. No, please, no.
Please no. Anyway,
Oh.
moving on quickly. Apollo Crews versus Elias. I think it was a throwaway match because, well, even though it kind of like continues the feud between him and Titus Worldwide.
What is the end game for Apollo Crews?
There you go. I don't know.
I mean, this is a guy that came to the main roster with so much hype and was getting a push at the beginning, and then all of a sudden dropped out of sight.
Yep.
And now is jobbing to everybody.
And
now, mind you, I've seen that man live, and I'll tell you what, he is built like a brick shithouse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, this doesn't really have an end game that we've seen yet. To me, I think this is just the done deal with Drifter and Apollo Crews. If you want to continue his feud with Titus Worldwide, you need to have a better story rather than just, oh, we hate him because he trashed our state when he's singing. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be something better.
There's got to be some kind of an end game because Apollo Crews has lost what 4 times, 3 or 4 times to him, and Titus has lost once.
Once, yes, there you go.
So, what's the feud? What's the basis of the feud?
There's no motive, basically. There's no motive of the feud.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, basically.
That's sad.
That is sad. I mean, considering the fact that, of course, the next segment has a lot of there's a lot of motives and a lot of bang for whatever you want to talk about. Cruiserweight champion Enzo Amore coming out and confronting Kurt Angle, producing the no contract clause, where he's just pissed off that he's been assaulted despite of that. Yeah,
and that was pretty funny.
It was.
Because it was the way it was said by Kurt Angle. Had you checked the fine print, you would have seen that it was for anybody that signed a contract prior to me signing that order. I signed Kalisto afterwards.
Yes, I love that. Because Angle is just roping him around the ring.
Oh, I mean, and he does it so serious.
Yes. He does it in a serious tone, and yet it's still so entertaining and so funny. He's just having Angle's cool.
And you can see Angle's reaction when he realized he got one over on Enzo. He's laughing. Yep. He was laughing inside going, yep, you little bastard, I got you.
Yeah, he's reasserting back his authority. I have my own rules, damn it. There you go. Of course, Amore has to learn that, well, obnoxious villain who has a loud mouth, please control yourself.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yes,
but
Enzo is going to Enzo, but I liked the reaction when he said, you don't have to worry about your TLC match with Kalisto. And he goes, no, that's what I'm talking about. How you doing? Because you're putting that title on the line tonight.
Oh, no. Everyone
and he's standing in the ring with his eyes. And I mean, Enzo's got those Marty Feldman eyes. Okay?
Yeah.
They're too big for his face. Does everybody not agree with that?
I can sort of see it.
I mean, it looks like his eyes are bugging out of his head all the time.
I could say there's a character in Adam Sandler's movie where he tells bedtime stories, and there's a hamster with too big of an eyes. Yeah. There's that. But anyway.
I have a new nickname for Enzo Amore.
What?
Frog Eyes.
Much better than Muscles Marinara now?
Yes.
Anyway. Okay.
Frog Eyes. Anyway, Frog Eyes, and then It's
And
like
then-
he's up, and Enzo starts dancing in the ring. You can see the gears turning in his head, and then all of a sudden, Kurt turns around and goes, "Oh yeah, and by the way, that no contact clause is being rescinded for tonight because the entire cruiserweight division. If you're thinking about getting yourself disqualified or counted out, it's a lumberjack match, and the cruiserweights are going to be the lumberjacks." And that stopped Enzo's dancing in the ring dead. And Frog Eyes got like, "You son of a bitch."
which then again, of course, leads to the main event, which is the lumberjack match in the cruiserweight division between Enzo Amore and Kalisto, which, yes, of course, leads to Kalisto actually winning the cruiserweight's title
On
course.
Eddie Guerrero's birthday.
on Eddie Guerrero's birthday, of course. And of course, I would always gonna go and nitpick saying that this is just a result of Neville escaping.
And Neville walking out.
Neville walking out. All the rumors on that one. Of course.
Because from the rumors are that Neville was supposed to job to him.
Mhm. And Neville didn't like it.
Nope, he did it. He pulled a Steve Austin and took his ball and went home.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, there's a lot of questions coming in, of course, because yes, there's that to consider. If I wanted to nitpick, I would just say that, of course, so much effort and so much main event time has been spent on building Amore as this obnoxious heel champion, and then to watch it all suddenly go away so quickly like this, it's just a little bit bittersweet, considering the fact that we now know the circumstances that led to this. But I'm not gonna touch on that. I'm just gonna touch on the match. The match was, of course, your standard lumberjack ruse, where the babyface would get beaten up by the heels, and then the heel would be beaten up by the babyface. And of course, there's a surprising inclusion of Mustafa Ali in this one. So
Yeah, but I mean that suplex to the entire cruiserweight division off the top rope.
that was beautiful.
That was a work of art.
That was beautiful. I mean, quite possibly the highest, quite possibly the best spot of the night
Of the whole
overall.
night. Well,
Yeah.
no, second only to the initial destruction of the Miz Taraj, half of the Miz Taraj, and the bar.
All right, okay, I'll do that then.
I think Ambrose Alley will agree with that.
Of
Oh,
course,
of course.
of course.
I mean, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Fine. I
I don't care. My night was made when Miz got shield bombed. I was like, oh, there is a God. Somebody shut that bastard up. After me giving Miz props for shutting Paul Heyman up.
Mhm. And then there's this.
And then there's this. I'm like, oh, this is thank you. There is a God. Revenge is best served cold.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the main event. The match was fun. The match was very, very competitive, and you actually could see that Enzo Amore kind of looks like he wanted to wrestle now, but he lost his belt with a very, very sad expression on his face when he's lying on the mat. To top it all off, this match was actually miles better than the Fatal 5-Way elimination match to determine Asuka's first victim. Opponent.
Victim.
Yes.
And we all knew it was going to be Emma. I had been saying it for a while.
Of course. I mean, people
You can't do the marquee matchup of Asuka Sasha. You can't. Not
Nope.
right away. You can't give
Nope.
that yet.
Nope.
You can't give another Asuka Bailey.
Mhm.
Alexa's a champ. You don't put Asuka into the championship picture right away.
Mm-hmm. And you did not want to put Dana Brooke into there again.
No, Dana Brooke squash match, 30 seconds, it's over.
Yep.
Although
Alicia Fox-
Dana has gotten much better
Yep.
with her
She
ring
did.
work.
She did.
She still has a lot of work ahead of her, but she's getting better.
she looks better this one. And Alicia Fox, you don't want to put a veteran.
Alicia Fox, I think of all of them, to be perfectly honest, I think Alicia Fox, with her psychotic way about her, would have been the perfect first opponent.
Would be the perfect victim to Asuka.
Yes, yes. Because remember, with Alicia Fox, there's a bunch of the unknown on how she reacts and how she acts in the ring.
Yeah, true. And credit where credit's due, and fun because I get to see both Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox in the ring again. This really didn't deliver on me on one count because there's such there's a way of doing rapid fire elimination. This is not the way of doing it, because the elimination happened in such a fast way that I was scared that the people won't really get time to invest in it, and I was right. And because I was feeling, oh, she got knocked out. Oh, wait, she knocked out again, and she got eliminated.
Yeah, the match was short, too short.
Yeah, it was too short. It was too short, and it didn't really do nothing because we already known that the result is Emma is gonna go face Asuka.
Yeah.
I think a week before this already, we've already known that Emma is gonna be slated as the opponent.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. And then, of course, the other 800-pound gorilla in the room is Bray Wyatt, introducing the world to Sister Abigail.
Very interesting.
Oh, you don't want to get me started on that.
Oh, let's start on that
please,
one.
Please start us off, please.
I just think what they're doing with Sister Abigail and everything, it's lame.
Mm-hmm.
It's lame because as I look at it, it's so well works with Finn, so we'll do something similar with Bray.
Oh, okay.
They've dipped into that well again, and it's like, come on, make Bray relevant again.
Relevant.
Yeah, relevant.
Okay. Relevant again. Okay.
Yeah, that word.
Okay.
Make him.
Make him matter. I mean, Bray doesn't matter. He talks in circles.
Yeah. I mean, Finn's beating him at every turn.
True.
So this thing with Sister Abigail coming out and all that, it's.
Well, at least we're not getting Bray in drag.
No.
Yet.
No, please no.
Vince, if you're hearing this, ignore it.
What's that?
No, Vince. If you're actually listening to this, please don't listen to what TakersMinion said a couple of seconds ago. No.
Bray in drag, you mean?
No.
Yeah.
You talking Vince not to listen to it? I'm sure he's already thought of it. He's probably already thought of it. You know, something I heard, and I don't know if you heard it, MDS, but on that shoot interview that I turned you on to yesterday between Jim Cornette and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
Heenan brought up something very interesting that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Go
with
ahead.
the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That you only could have 20, maybe 25 years of ideas, and then you run out.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Vince has run out of ideas.
Vince already had run out of ideas for a long time.
Right. And that's something I've been mulling over in my head going, that could explain the stagnation of the WWE overall. That is, idea people have run out of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to recycle old things again to make them work, and they're not going to work in today's wrestling.
I could see
just food for thought for you guys.
Yeah, I could see the point of that. I mean, to me, I think, okay, here's the thing. Was the altered voice a little bit silly? Yes. Is the idea of a female alter ego for Wyatt a little bit strange? Maybe. With that said, I think WWE ignored the more obvious route by pulling an actual female wrestler probably in the form of Sage Beckett, for one. or
maybe even Nikki Cross.
for another, and for a long shot, for even bigger, even far away off long shot, probably even Paige, for that
Ooh,
matter. Probably even Paige, for that matter.
yeah,
But
Paige may be going. I believe is going to SmackDown.
yeah, okay. That being said,
And
WWE.
your butt is what, Julia?
Okay. Okay, with that being said, WWE ignored the obvious route, took a different path with Sister Abigail. Of course, we don't know whether it's Bray Wyatt going drag or just Bray Wyatt just Bray Wyatt incorporating a little bit of Sister Abigail into himself, much like Finn Balor incorporating Demon King into himself. It's an interesting concept, but one which the success or failure with it will have to be determined by the execution of the gimmick.
Yes.
Because if it comes across as really, really offhand, really odd, it would be dead in the water, and you guys know it.
Yep. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, you said you had, AA, you said butt. What is your butt?
I didn't say but.
No, you're talking about the Sister Abigail thing. You know, we were talking about Paige being Sister Abigail, and you go, yeah, but.
Oh, well, if you wanted to do stealing from Lucha Underground,
Oh.
but you know how Mill with the stone and everything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have Sister Abigail as a female wrestler and it added to actually win his matches.
Probably. It kind of.
And
Mhm.
so then you get someone, Finn or someone, then they'd have to find someone who could act
Yeah.
female feud going.
Yeah, I think that could work. It kind of like works like sort of like how Cien Almas has Zelina Vega now, and Zelina Vega is making Almas more focused on that matter. It could work on on the same breath like that with Bray Wyatt, but again, like I said, it depends on the execution of how they wanted to work the gimmick of Sister Abigail on this one. So,
But there's also a message, a hidden message from Finn
uh-huh,
in all this. If you listen to the backstage stuff,
uh-huh,
Finn says he knows what he needs to do.
huh.
Could it be he's going to go to Death Valley?
It could. I don't know. It could definitely be an option.
Because
If
we
you want-
know that Takers is not quote unquote retired from active wrestling.
Nope, he isn't.
Could they bring him in to help Finn more mold his demon to somebody he could bring out even as regular Finn and then be able to put him back in the box when it's time?
Probably. I mean, like I said, it's an option because it still relies on how they wanted to move forward with the Sister Abigail character. Because
Right.
let's say that Sister Abigail character is Bray Wyatt by proxy. That means they're not gonna pull out any female wrestler or any sort of hokey moves for that matter. It's just Bray Wyatt is going to incorporate stuff or be Sister Abigail by proxy. So that means yes, Balor could actually just kind of like knows what he should be doing. He goes to consult
Yes.
the Demon of Death Valley, for that matter, just to embrace his dark side a little bit more. So yeah, but again, like I said, it looks it all depends on how WWE wants to build the WWE Sister Abigail. I kind of like how WWE Creative ignored the more obvious route, where, yeah, let's toss in another a women wrestler inside this and just make her be Sister Abigail, Sage Beckett or Paige for that matter, or Nikki Cross for that matter, even who knows. But like I said, it's interesting.
Oh, I just had a screwy thought.
Okay.
I'm getting it together. It just kind of hit me.
Okay.
All right.
Uh.
Let's say at what they got the TLC pay-per-view coming up, and it looks like they're going to have a match there.
Mhm.
All right. During the match, Bray is getting beaten pillar to post, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Just as the match is about to end, a mysterious figure at the top of the ramp comes out, covered, wearing all black and covered.
Mhm.
Could that person be Asuka?
I don't know. I don't see that as Asuka because we already waited for the moment that Asuka is going to make her debut at TLA.
But nobody knows it's Asuka.
Unless you have a visual representation of Asuka, like Asuka coming out wearing a mask and just makes her presence known and it disappears, then okay. If you want to pull the long shot of all long shots there, okay, yeah.
But I don't see it happening, to be perfectly honest. It's just a thought.
It's a thought.
It's just a sinister thought, but it's a thought.
Yeah, I don't see it happening because they've already billed Asuka coming. It's just that we don't know whether it's going to be a standard appearance of Asuka, where they made her coming to be in a standard match where yes, Emma comes out first, and then it's like Shinsuke Nakamura's debut. It's kind of like that. Or they wanted to do a little bit of a twisting route and just makes her presence a little bit known there. So further encapsulating the fact that the show is not just tables, ladders, and chairs, it's tables, ladders, and Asuka.
Hence the name for today's show is Sierra Delta Bravo, Tango Lima Alpha.
Well, oh my.
Oh my.
I mean,
thank you, Fizz, for giving me, for saying that. The first time I ever heard it was you saying, he's calling TLC TLA, tables, ladders, and Asuka versus tables, ladders, and chairs. And I tend to agree.
Okay.
This next pay-per-view is going to be basically circled around Asuka.
Yeah. And of course, if I want to indulge on your long shot, what better way to twist around the impending arrival of Asuka in TLA than to make her show revolve solely all around her, as going as far as even calling it tables, ladders, and Asuka for that matter.
That's it.
I digress.
We missed something. We missed something from SmackDown. We'll get back to it in a minute. But
okay,
go ahead.
I'm just gonna wrap up on Raw this week. I think it's just you can just call it automatically. It's the Shield show, basically. Yep. This is just basically your standard fare of reuniting the Shield back again, and then thus elevating the whole thing altogether. It's not a batch.
And getting the 2 doses of justice being dished out.
Yes, it's not a bad show.
I missed.
Yeah, I said 2 doses of justice and Miz being killed. Yes.
One Miz
being murder, death, killed by the Shield.
Mm-hmm. And then Strowman got his comeuppance by the Shield as well. So there's 2.
Yep.
It's not a bad show. It's not a bad show. It's not a great show either. It's just good, enjoyable, solid match. The main event propped it up. The opening match propped it up. There's a few segments that were lovely, and that's just it. So there's that. So what did we miss on SmackDown?
Unless you guys talked about it while I stepped away, is Kevin Owens promo. Oh no, you were talking. Never mind. We talked about that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah.
What, do you have any other?
No, the thing about it is that Kevin Owens is saying that he took Shane McMahon out, and then later on in the show, the commentary talked about that Shane was in good shape, released. Checked to the local hospital and released.
Okay.
So there's that.
Okay.
That's something I missed.
Okay, because because there's the news where there's the news where Shane McMahon is allegedly still injured. So hearing that he's actually okay is actually quite good. So there's that. Yeah. Of course, just to wrap it up, a little bit of thought with both Baron Corbin and a certain wrestler that I mentioned earlier, which was actually Enzo More, for that matter. Trash talking people, people trash talking the business or trash talking the fans. One actually has, one actually, both of them actually has reaped the rewards of it by one winning the cruiserweight division, the other winning the U.S. title. So, in a thought, does your ability to trash talk people or just be just be a general ass to each other really matter in this sport? I mean, of course, we've already divulged and we already agreed that character-driven people are much better remembered rather than people who have excessive amounts of talents and yet zero character.
That's the problem with Bailey right now.
Yeah, because we tend to overlook the fact that people who are mostly charismatic tend to be such jackass with each other or just assholes in general. And we tend to forget that people who are actually that much talented doesn't really have that much kind of character in them, and which is a little bit sad and brings a lot of questions. So should people voice out their opinions much more often in the same breath as Neville, for that matter? Because he voiced out his opinion. He didn't like it. He left. He took his ball and went home, a la Steve Austin, for that matter. And hopefully I would love to see Neville back in the WWE, just to kind of like repair his bridges all over again. But just listening to a lot of stuff that's coming in via the rumors and via the news, it's just there's
trouble in the WWE house.
There's a little bit of trouble, and I sure hope that a lot of people coming out of it is going to be fine rather than be worse coming out from it. So just a food of thought. It's just not me ranting. It's just me just bringing out opinions, because the parallels between both Enzo More and Baron Corbin are scarily familiar in a sense of their progression.
There's only one difference. Enzo Amore is not Wile E. Coyote Amore.
No. He's Muscles Marinara, while Baron Corbin is the Wile B. Corbin. So there's that.
Yep, Wile B. Corbin.
And of course, Enzo More is the Frog Eyes for you. So he's Le
But
Chef.
the difference is this. Enzo Amore, aka Frog Eyes, has much better mic skills than Baron does.
I will not deny that. I will definitely not deny that. If you combine both Enzo More and Baron Corbin, you'd actually get a decent enough wrestler to work as a heel.
Oh God, yeah. You know, I like the avenue they're trying with Baron. You know, I'm going to stick it, shove it down their throat and stick it to you. I won. Deal with it. I'm a U.S. champion. Deal with it right now.
If you don't like it, then fuck you.
I like it. It's something different.
Yes.
We haven't had a heel like that in years.
Exactly. I mean, I digress. I'd love to see the progression that Baron Corbin has or is gonna do with the US title now with him. So there's that. All in all, it was a fun week for WWE. It was an interesting week actually for WWE, coming out from all the news, all of the happenings that happened. We cannot really touch a lot about things because we're just running out of our time. Anyway, how can we reach you, Taker?
You can find me on Twitter at @takers_minion. Sometimes in the daily, I'm making more and more appearances there per their request. And you can find me on a nightly, at least 4 days a week. It depends on how much workload I have. And yes, this is my last days off for a while. One of the guys is leaving us. Was last night covering my shift, so I'm on 7 days. But I will be around where I'm around. The show will always be here. AA, how can they find you?
find me on Twitter. And I'm usually in the daily, more appearances than the nightly.
Yes, you've made an appearance or two in a nightly. It's just
A few more.
It's just too late for you. That's the problem.
Great when I got insomnia.
Eh.
The infamous Ambrose Alley, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
And MDS, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at BeckyGotBank666. I don't know whether I'm going to change that. No. I'm also known as the other guy of Shootin' Debris.
Yes. I saw that the other day. I was like, that's so wrong.
I'll take that as a compliment as the other guy from Shootin' Debris. I'm on cage side seats on the daily mostly as well, on the daily as well as the nightly mostly. Depends on whether I'm busy or not. You can also catch me on the official Shootin' Debris Twitter at Shootin' Debris #1 BREEZ1. Well, this has been episode 16 of Shootin' Debris.
We got plugs. Don't forget the plugs.
Oh, we still have plugs. This week, Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling will be moved to the weekend. Of course, usually afterwards, we give way to Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with William Fitzpatrick, as well as Sal Kuzmano, as well as Two Guys, One Sport,
which was done yesterday night that I listened to live.
Considering
Great show. Considering that Curtain Jerker is going to a indie show tonight.
Taker's still pissed.
I'm still pissed because he gets to see Pentagon.
Oh.
Miedo.
That's right. Pentasero Miedo is performing in Berwyn, Illinois tonight. I believe there's still tickets available, but I'm not 100% sure. It's an AAW show. It's a tournament that runs for 2 days, tonight and tomorrow night. So give it a check out.
Give it a check out if you guys are there. Of course, there's also Cage Side Seat affiliated shows. We have Not Your Demographic, Rudo Radio, as well as Keeping Up with the Kayfabe.
And don't forget the Cage Side Speaks after every pay-per-view.
Yes. Hopefully there's another Cage Side Speaks, considering that we've already passed Hell in a Cell. So we're going to have another, we're definitely due for another one of them. So there is that.
And a programming note, folks, we did bring out the fact that we were getting Conrad Thompson from Something to Wrestle and What Happened When. I've been in contact with him some more. We're trying to schedule it for a day that everybody's available. We possibly could do it tomorrow, Saturday, and that'll be a show that'll be aired at a different time. Please send us your questions to the Shootin' Debris official Twitter at Shootin' Debris 1. That's BREEZ1. And we'll try to use them if we can.
Or just send your questions up to us. We'll definitely keep a record on that one. So again, this has been episode 16 of Shootin' Debris.
Wow.
It's
been fun. Pants flew, lots of laughter.
Pants flew, lots of laughter. People gushing about the Shield
I'm still in Cloud 9.
Yes, Ambrose Ellie is still going to be in Cloud 9 for about 2 or 3 weeks, for that matter. I think.
I think months.
A month.
I think until Roman just walks away from it all.
Yeah.
That's how I think it's going to end this time.
I think just on a quick note, I think they're going to do this short and sweet. I think it's just them repairing the bridges that they burned, and it just separates on.
I think it's going to last until Royal Rumble somewhere, and that's where because then we're in WrestleMania season and things start to pick back up.
I agree, because they don't really need to stretch this out a long time.
All right, guys, we need to go. It's 2.5 hours.
Yep.
I think it's time for us to shut up.
Yep. And then we'll just go on for about 3 hours. Anyway.
All right, guys, it's been fun. We'll see you next week. And
Same time, same day.
Same bat time, same bat channel, folks.
Yeah.
Until next Friday. Bye.
Oh, don't forget. Thank you, Ambrose Alley.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. All right, guys. Bye.
Yeah.